thanks to the support as a channel member, PP0476. Oh, boys and girls, we might be able to fix or go some way towards fixing our financial problems. We got the winnable FA Cup second round tie we were hoping for. We're away against Conference League. Conference League? Conference League is they're not in the Conference League. They're in the National League. Used to be called the Conference. I know what I'm talking about. It's Macclesfield. They're mid-table, the division below us. We should be able to beat them. Especially because we're going into it off the back of some really, really good form. A long winning run in the league, or an unbeaten run. There was a draw in there. And we have been knocked out of the Virtu Trophy, but nobody cares. Annoyingly, we did lose against Barrow in our last league game, and we'd got as high as second in the league. We're still sat in the automatic promotion spots, fantastically above Cambridge, off the back of the long unbeaten run that we went on. But losing against Barrow just takes the edge off some of the happiness in the squad going into this FA Cup game. And in fact, we do have a few players causing a few problems. Nelson, Monker, Serafin, Bruno Sena all want more game time. So I am taking a risk in this game against Macclesfield, and I'm rotating a little bit in a game that financially we need to win. But we are at home. We're against a team from the division below, and we can have all of our stars sat on the bench. So it's not as if we're going to be... I should probably put the stars on the bench. Hold on. Yeah, let's make sure we've got the stars on the bench. And then we can take the risk. So Thomas and Restotting, and that'll probably do. But this is what we're doing. We're giving the guys who want game time some game time, not Sena. Sena's done, I think. But we do want to give Gio Smith a chance playing in this kind of behind the striker position, but we want him to be up there pressing with Monker when we're out of possession. So it's our normal shape when we've not got the ball, but when we've got the ball, we want Smith to tuck in behind Monker in the hope of trying to get the best out of both of them. Smith's rarely got to play in his preferred position. It's attacking midfield, and Monker still he scored one goal. But we've got Day and Thomas on the bench, so we might be okay. We've got to be okay. We need to win financially. So it's Casagrande in goal. A back four of Serafin, getting some game time for him. Brown, Noble and Connor. Compton, who wanted game time, coming in alongside Farkas. Archer on the left. Nelson, who wants game time, on the right. And then Smith, who needs game time but hasn't asked for it. And Monker, who's been asking up front. So there's multiple purposes to today. We obviously want to see how the likes of Smith perform in a slightly different role, to see if it is there as an option for us. And it's been in my head since the previous round of the FA Cup, where obviously we brought him on and played him there when we had the miraculous turnaround, although rather than being behind one striker, he was behind three on that day. But I think Smith has a future, and it's going to involve us changing the tactic if we are going to get that future from him. So it gives us another option. We're all about having options, but Serafin is one that I'm definitely keeping a close eye on, because we really want him to be a star. He is now fluent in English, so that should make him a little bit more, a little bit less lost when he's on the pitch, which has been the criticism of him a little bit so far, that he just kind of doesn't seem to be fully aware of what's going on around him. He is only 18 and didn't speak the language. Now he's 18 and does speak the language. Current ability-wise, he's got the same current ability as our other two left backs, so there's no reason why he shouldn't get a run in the team if he can perform today. But Monker, this is probably Monker's last big chance. Potentially the same for Nelson. If neither of them perform today, when they're getting their chance, they're getting their start against a team we should be capable of beating, then we might be done with them. And the fact we've managed 0.08 XG in that first half suggests this front four is not working at all. We're giving it 15 minutes of this second half, and then the cavalry are coming on, and we're going back to our normal front four, because this is not okay. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I want to demand more. This is definitely a team we should be beating, but we're just not creating anything. And if Macclesfield grab a goal, we've got a potentially very expensive problem that all comes from me getting a little bit too clever. I mean, I am allowed to be a little bit too clever. I have just finished my Continental Pro license in all my years of non-Leeds legend. That's good from Moncur. And that's good from Nelson, and Smith couldn't quite apply the finish, but that was those three players actually combining the way I want them to. But as I was saying, for the first time ever in non-Leeds legend history, I think, I've gone through all my coaching badges at the starting club. So big thank you to Bedford for financing that. Obviously, if we hadn't have done it when we did, there's no way they'd be paying for it now because we're so far overdrawn. So he definitely took advantage of those early cup runs. And now we need to deliver another one to say thank you to them for putting me through my coaching badges, because you would think I would be in line for a big job at some point. I still haven't had an offer. I'm still not looking because I'm happy here. If we get to the point where I'm not happy here, I might start having a little bit of a look. Like if we were to get stuck in League Two for a couple of years, or if we get promoted and then realise we're not good enough for League One. These are all situations where I'll look. But in the meantime, someone might come in for me. You never know. Right, who is that? Connor has been absolutely sent to the shops there, I think is what the cool kids would say. Right, we're doing the changes to the front three. We're going back to the normal setup. So we're going to bring on Day for Moncur, Thomas for Smith, and restart him for Nelson. And we're just going back to our normal system. He shouldn't be a playmaker. Why is he a playmaker? He shouldn't be. And he normally plays as a centre forward, and he normally plays as a poacher. And we're going to go attacking because we want to win this in normal time. And we're giving our big boys half an hour to come on and hopefully finish off a tired Macclesfield. They all needed a rest. They've all had an hour's rest. Now they've got half an hour to prove they were allowed to have the rest. That they can get the job done in 30 minutes against tired opposition. That's the idea. Right, let's make our final couple of changes. Farkas can probably come off, actually. Farkas can come off for Burke. Yeah, he's played a lot of football. And we'll also bring on Lucky. Lucky was unlucky to not be in the team today. If I hadn't made so many changes in other positions, I would have given him some game time. He's actually lucked out, or been out of luck, because he's not been moaning the way the rest of them have been. So I didn't want to change absolutely everything. Right, Compton, forward to Thomas. Thomas, back to Burke. Burke, forward to Archer on this left-hand side. We really could use a goal. Archer, Thomas, goal. There you go. That's what you bring the big boys on for. This, boys and girls, this FA Cup run, if I do say so myself, so far, has been a masterpiece in football management. And I don't say that lightly, but oh my word. What a demonstration of using your squad we've had so far in this tournament. Please don't mess it up while I'm singing my own praises. Talking of praise, do I offer some praise? No, because we should be more than one goal ahead against a team from the division below. I probably could have individually praised the two that were involved in the goal, but that feels like favouritism. I don't do favouritism. Right, let's have a second one, then I will offer them some praise. Is that a corner? That feels like a corner. We are piling on the pressure. That's the difference bringing on the main men makes. But it doesn't look like... I mean, we're happy just to see the game out. This will do. Boys and girls, with the minimal amount of effort, we have secured passage. 67 grand, that's so important. That's as important as getting into the next round, because we're not going to win in the next round. Look, our finances are still a mess even after that, but now we need the big draw for the next round. And in the meantime, we'll play a top of the table-ish clash against Southend in the league. I mean, Mansfield are well clear of both of us, but Southend are one place above us. So let's beat them. And then I can tell you who we've got in the third round of the FA Cup. Please be Manchester United away. We need to sort out our finances. I mean, it's not going to make us mega money. We're away against Bolton, who are bottom half of the Championship. I mean, the form we've been in, it's potentially winnable. But yeah, it's not fixing It's not fixing this, is it? Which even with a cup run is continuing to get worse, which shows just how bad the situation is. Let's cheer ourselves up by beating Southend. The hope, of course, is that because it is only Bolton, I'll regret saying that in tomorrow's episode, we shouldn't get too distracted when it comes to league form, and we can carry on this promotion push we weren't expecting by beating Southend here. And we're back to basically full strength. Casagrande in goal. Serafin stays in at left back because, like I say, there's no reason for him not to be in the team, really. I mean, if you look at, he's the best left back we've got. Connor's playing at right back. He is the best left back, so let's give him a run of games. So Serafin at right back, Brown, Noble and Connor make up the rest of the back four. Burke and Farkas in midfield. Archer on the left, restarting on the right, and Thomas and Day back together up front. And fingers crossed, everybody, that we can get back to the kind of form we were in before we lost to Barrow, just before that game. I mean, if you look over the course of our last two matches, we've played two pretty poor teams in Barrow and Macclesfield, and we've only scored one goal. And yeah, it's not been great form for the previous two matches. For the 10 before that, though, we've been fantastic. We've scored goals, we've had consecutive wins, we've charged at the league table. So hopefully it just shows that those last couple of matches, we were just rotating the squad, resting a few tired legs. And now we're back to full strength and not tired because we've done that rotation. We've done that resting, and fingers crossed that now stands in our favour in a big game when we're straight away back to what we do best. Get the ball to either Restotting or Connor. One of them hits the ball over the top of the fullback, kind of in between the fullback and centre back, where Johnny Day loves to hang out. There he is between the two of them as usual. And then from there, he either shoots or crosses. This time he crosses, and Ollie Thomas is there to benefit from it. And we have scored so many goals this season that look just like that one. That part of the tactic definitely works. I think I asked a couple of days ago, has the latest update broken the tactic? It certainly hasn't broken that element of it. If anything, that very straightforward route to goal seems more productive now than it was before. Because I think pre-update, players were a little bit more prone to shoot from that wide area that Day finds himself in. Whereas now he'll cross more often. He still shoots from there sometimes, but I think he's crossing more often, which is getting us more team goals and certainly getting Ollie Thomas more goals as he benefits from all of these tap-ins that he gets to have. So I think we're probably okay as far as updates and the breaking of tactics are concerned, and we're pretty okay with bells on if we don't get any more highlights in this first half, although we do now have one. It's Serafin trying for a long throw. I mean, he's like 5'2". He's never going to get a long throw going. He shouldn't even be trying it. Serafin back to Burke, and now Thomas to Archer, and it's very rare that we do anything down this left-hand side, but Archer and Thomas combining to show that not every goal Bedford score has to come through Johnny Day. And this was good work from everybody on this left-hand side. Burke played it into Thomas. One touch layoff to Archer. Archer is then through on goal, and it's a very tidy finish from him underneath the goalkeeper at that far post. It's 2-0, and that makes that league table look pretty attractive as it stands currently. More of the same in the second half, please, chaps. Reece Dottim to Farkas, who's tried to hit that ball. He's not the one who should hit that ball. That ball is hit by Reece Dottin or Connor. They're the two that consistently find Day. Nobody else should be trying. You're just there to protect the defenders, young man. Goodness me. I mean, I think he is, to be fair to him, on a deep line playmaker instruction. So he probably justifiably is like, well, sometimes I should be allowed to try the pass. Yeah, well, see what happens when you do, you silly goose. Casagrande off dancing about being Mr. Sweeper Keeper. Look at us go. And then there's the ball from Connor. It didn't quite hit it far enough. You don't want Day competing in the air. That needed to be 4 or 5 inches higher so Day could peel off from his defender and get in behind him, and then it would have been perfect. But it's not going to be perfect every time. Connor's a fullback. He's not supposed to be hit. He's not Trent Alexander-Arnold. You don't expect every ball that he plays over the top to be perfect. Reece Dottin, that's disappointing from him. And now they're trying to come down this right-hand side. And I'm a little bit confused as to what this highlight is. Stuff like this usually ends up in something odd happening, and we might be about to concede a really annoying goal. But it is Southend enjoying a lot of time on the ball here and just knocking it around us with relative ease, and then Rhys Dottin makes the tackle. And was that what the highlight was? No, the highlight is continuing, boys and girls. Let's just... No, we are on key. Not really sure what's going on. But the highlight continues. FM26 does that sometimes. It just has a little moment occasionally. I think it's like, I saw a thing on TikTok the other day where how they hide loading screens in modern video games by making you squeeze in a crevice between the wall when all you can see is yourself zoomed in, like The Last of Us, stuff like you're zoomed in, and it's because the next area is loading, and it's a way to hide the old school loading screens that we used to get when you opened a door. I feel like when Football Manager does that, that's what's happening. They're giving us a weird long highlight to hide the fact it's doing some processing in the background and just needs a minute to catch up. And I'm not against it. It's quite nice having the highlights mix up a little bit so that you do, especially playing on key highlights, it can sometimes be easy to assume that every highlight is going to end up in a goal. And it does, I think it improves the immersion and enjoyment in the matches if sometimes you get a weird long highlight that doesn't lead anywhere, because it's like, okay, fair enough. I do actually have to properly pay attention because not everything is going to lead to a goal. Right. We're just making a few. We haven't got a defender to bring on. Where's Lucky? Why is he not on the bench? Seems like an oversight. We'll give Moncur yet another opportunity to show me that he's ever going to be good enough to play for me. I think if anyone wants him in January, this is an open offer to anyone in the comments. If anyone wants Moncur in January, he is for sale, I think. We're going to need to replace him because Cena's not a good enough backup, and if we got an injury to Thomas or Day, we'd have a real problem. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to try out Gio Smith in that number 10 position, because if we did get an injury, I don't really trust Moncur to come in. But I don't know that Smith necessarily looked like the option either. So there's definitely still work to do on the squad. But as you can see by that league table, we are well ahead of schedule. We're in an automatic promotion spot. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. And tomorrow, we've got the third round of the FA Cup and the transfer window opening. And I think this season's going pretty well. So if you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.